Okay, so here I am with another action figure unboxing, and this is the first figure that I think I've done a video of from the Titan Hero series, which is Hasbro's cheap 10-inch or 12-inch figure line. It's only $10 for a 12-inch figure, and this is the Green Goblin, which I already have the old Titan series Green Goblin figure, but it's from before they improved the articulation somewhat, so he's very Frankenstein-y, where he can only move his arms up and down. And this one's got a little more movement to the arms, so I like that a lot better because even though I mostly just stand these on my shelves, I can at least get a little bit more of a dynamic pose out of them. So let's have a look at the packaging, and the back here, or the side, I should say, has a nice picture of the Green Goblin, and this is definitely more of like a modern style Green Goblin. There's artwork there too, and it's got a little more of a Humberto Ramos feel to it. So he's shown on his Goblin Glider, which of course is how you think of the Green Goblin. You almost think of him as being on the Goblin Glider more than you think of him actually walking around. But I kind of doubt this comes with one because these tend to be pretty cheap. And you can see that there's no plastic here in the packaging. It's just like a open hole, which I think Hasbro's been doing these days to try to save on plastic, for the environment. I'm sure it wasn't because it saves them half a cent for every case of figures in terms of plastic costs. I'm sure that's not why. I'm sure they weren't concerned with the bottom line. They just want to save the environment. I'm sure that's what it is. So let's go ahead and open them up. And we got a couple of pieces of tape here. There we go. And it looks like that was enough to open up the bottom. And hopefully this will be one where like the insert just slides right out, and not one where it's like the same piece of cardboard and I have to just literally disassemble the entire box to get it out of there. And I was right, no Goblin Glider. I kind of figured it'd be hard to fit one in there anyway. So he of course is held in with several plastic tabs, which is my least favorite way of packing an action figure in. I like that even less than the twist ties. And I hate the twist ties. I hate the plastic tabs even more. So much for saving on the environment. We got to have those plastic tabs in there. But a turtle's going to choke on those now. Thanks, Captain Planet. Alright, so we got the Green Goblin out of the package. And it's not a bad head sculpt, but I kind of feel like the eyeballs are a little cross-eyed. It's kind of hard for them, I guess, to get the Green Goblin's eyeballs in there just right. The older figure looked like he was more wall-eyed, but this one looks more cross-eyed, so it's like, I guess they need to split the difference on that and have a happy medium. This is not exactly the classic Green Goblin costume, but for my money it's close enough, and I'll go into some of the differences with that. We can see the gloves are very similar to how the Green Goblin's gloves are traditionally done. The wrists are articulated. It's a cut right here at the glove, so you can turn that wrist all the way around. The arms go all the way around, and they come up about that much. So not quite 90 degrees, but it's still enough. I figure you can get some good posability out of it. This wrist flips around. He has the pumpkin bomb molded into his hand. So it's not a separate piece. It's not even one that's glued in. This is like one solid piece of plastic where this is all molded and stuck into his hand. And they did paint it orange, so that's good. And his belt seems to be the same shade of orange. Like, I guess they didn't want to use like another shade of paint. So rather than give him an orange pumpkin and a brown belt, like he traditionally has, they gave him an orange pumpkin with the same color belt. It is kind of a brownish orange, so it does work for his belt. So that's not too bad. Could be worse. His head's kind of ball jointed, so you get a little bit of extra movement there rather than just from side to side. I do feel like they could have done a better job on his teeth, because there actually are like both the top and bottom teeth, but it's kind of subtle in how they did it. So it looks more like it's just the upper teeth, and that makes him look kind of doofy, I think. But, I would have probably rather seen him more with like an open mouth kind of thing, like he was laughing. But I guess they didn't want to spend the extra money on painting in the inside of his mouth. So it does not seem like there's articulation at the boot cut. Even though it's a completely different kind of plastic, it's two different kinds of plastic here. Like this is even kind of a softer plastic on the feet, and this is more the harder plastic. Like you could hear the tink, tink, tink when I'm tapping at it versus that. So, like, it's a different kind of plastic. They could have very easily put an articulation here, and they chose not to. They decided to just, I guess, glue it in solid, which you had to actually spend money on the glue, so it was probably more expensive to do it that way. Even if it wasn't, I think you could have gone the extra mile and given us a boot cut there. I think that would have been cool. It would have added to the posability, and he would have been a little more stable when we stand him on the shelf. So, thumbs down on that. That was not a good call. Now, I'd mentioned before how this is different from the original Green Goblin costume, and one of the differences also is you can see there's some armor here, rather than just a plain jerkin like the Green Goblin traditionally had in the original costume. There actually is some armor detailing in there. So he has purple armor over his jerkin, and then kind of like a purple cowl over that. Which, if they could, I don't know why they didn't do this, because this would have actually saved them a little bit of money, and I would have understood. They could have had it go purple all the way up the neck and have it look like it connected to the cap, which I kind of like that look. But oh well. And then you can see that he doesn't have like the traditional chainmail or lizard scale or whatever it's supposed to be there at the legs. It's kind of debatable as to what it's supposed to be, and the arms. Instead of that, they have kind of like this zigzag pattern, which to me makes it look more like an armor than like it's supposed to be the goblin's skin, which I think was the original intention. So it probably was supposed to be more like lizard scale, but I've seen it interpreted as chainmail too. But they decided to take it a different way. I like the coloring on this. It's very bright and vibrant. Kids should probably love it. It's a very bright purple with a very bright green, and he just kind of leaps out at you. Very neat. Uh, I do wish they'd put a little more effort into painting his eyeballs. Like I said, it would have been neat to give him some black around the eyes too. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. But yeah, make him look a little more sinister. But other than that, I think this is a pretty good figure, especially for $10. It would have been nice if he had a Goblin Glider, but I guess that's just a little too much to ask for a 12-inch figure for $10, and then you throw in a vehicle, even if it is a vehicle that you see the character on like 90% of the time. But, whatever. It is what it is. So, I would give this figure a recommend, especially for kids who like Spider-Man. That might be a cool thing to have. For adult collectors who missed out on the original Titan series Green Goblin, or you just want one with some better articulation, this is definitely worth picking up. I did have the older one, like I said, and even then, like I didn't buy them until like I saw them like marked down to like $3, and then I thought it was kind of a steal. But it was definitely worth having to tide me over until I got this one. But this one is, I think, a far superior figure. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and all the fun stuff that you can do on YouTube down below. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the Green Goblin, the character in general, or this particular figure, or what's your favorite Green Goblin figure. I'd like to know. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.